Coco Gauff finishes the 2026 season as the queen of double faults. Although it is an aspect she continues to work on and make changes to improve her performance, double faults remain a heavy burden in Coco Gauff's tennis game. Surpassing last year's count by one, the American player closed out this 2025 season with a total of 432 double faults, followed in the rankings by Alexandrova with 300, as reported by Tennis 365. No one knew exactly when it started, only that by midsummer of 2026, the tennis world was gripped by a strange, almost mythic fascination. Coco Gauff, reigning U.S. Open champion, global icon, and former enfant prodigy, had become the undisputed queen of double faults. The phrase first appeared on a French sports blog after Roland Garros. La reine de doubles fautes. The queen of the double faults. At first, it was meant as a jab. Then it became a meme. Then it became a storyline. And by the time Gauff arrived in Singapore for the season-ending championships, it had transformed into something entirely different, something oddly inspiring, absurdly poetic, and unmistakably Coco. 1. The serve that vanished. For years, her serve had been a weapon, not always the most elegant, but reliably dangerous, an explosion of athleticism, arcs, and angles. Nobody could explain why it suddenly deserted her in 2026. Some blamed biomechanics, others said it was mental, and one commentator blamed planetary misalignment because that at least sounded entertaining. Coco herself laughed when asked. "It's complicated," she said. "Sometimes the ball and I disagree on where it should go." Reporters chuckled, but deep down they sensed something true. Coco had hit an artistic phase, and the canvas happened to be the service box. 2. The double fault streak. The numbers were wild. 17 double faults in Dubai, 21 in Madrid, 25 in a marathon semifinal at Wimbledon, which she still managed to win, and the now legendary match in Cincinnati where she served 33. Every one of them met by gasps, groans, and eventually applause from a crowd that had begun treating double faults like plot twists in a thriller. But Coco kept winning. That's what made the world obsessed. She wasn't collapsing under the weight of her errors. She was adapting, reinventing, playing like someone who had decided that if her serve wanted to misbehave, the rest of her game would simply rise to meet the challenge. 3. The fans who leaned in. By August, spectators were showing up with handmade signs. "Make the ball obey." Queen of the faults, but goat of the fight. Double fault? Double fun. Someone sold t-shirts at the U.S. Open reading Fault Royalty, featuring a cartoon of Gauff placing a crown on a tennis ball that was rolling away from her. When she hit her 10th double fault in a tight quarterfinal, the crowd didn't groan. They chanted her name. They willed her through. And Coco, grinning, shaking her head at the chaos, went on to win that match too. It was, in its own unorthodox way, a golden season. For the analysts who tried to explain it, pundits held emergency roundtables, slow-motioned her toss from 46 angles, and released think pieces with titles like "The Paradox of the Modern Serve." Is Coco redefining risk in women's tennis? When errors become identity, a psychological study. One respected analyst declared, "Gauff isn't melting down, she's evolving." Another one retorted, "She can't evolve out of the laws of physics." But even physics seemed confused in 2026. After all, what kind of top 5 player hit record-setting double faults and still marched into finals? A Coco type, apparently. 5. The turning point nobody expected. At the WTA Finals, Gauff entered the arena to a soundtrack of orchestral music mixed with sound effects of tennis balls hitting the net. Whoever organized it had a sense of humor. Reporters asked if she felt insulted. "No," she said. "It's kinda iconic." Her first match? 15 double faults. Her second? 19. Commentators were baffled. Fans were delighted. Coco, strangely enough, was free. Because when you've already become a walking statistical anomaly, what's left to fear? 6. What the cameras didn't see. During a late-night practice on an empty court in Singapore, Coco stood alone under buzzing lights. Her coach had gone. Reporters were gone. Fans asleep. She picked up a ball,